Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So apologies about a little bit of a delay there, I was just getting things set up in the background. But less than 2 minutes this time, so that's good. That's very good. Means I'm getting a little bit faster there, so that's good. After all this time, you'd think I would be quite quick, but apparently not. So I just got the town back from our good friend Alex. And we're going to go ahead and see what happens. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think's going to happen. I'm expecting pain. I'm expecting it to happen with the Czechs, maybe Hungarians, but more than likely Czechs. I feel that around Nuremberg is probably where it may attack. Maybe my attackers in the north, on the North German plain, where we had the Maskarovka stack, because there was a group of 2 supply behind that. I'm hoping that the air forces we had deployed managed something, but okay, we've got 8 victories, 18 defeats, so not as heavy on the fight in this time. Let's go ahead and take a look at the defeats to begin with. So Bamberg. Bamberg rings a bell. Oh, he didn't have... Right. Huh. It looks like he actually took some hits over here, then. That's interesting. We did rout over here, though, so we took hits, but it looks like they took hits as well. He did have this lead as well. Okay. Eliminations are the one to watch for. Oh, so this one went... is this the Southern group? Oh, I think I know where this one is. Had a rout over here, panic, sorry, and hits. Didn't really cause hits over here. How come it looks like the attack's artificially lowered? There's a -1 over here, that's interesting. I wonder what's causing that. Oh, they might come from an airfield that had been hit with the... we used missiles last turn, actually. Okay, Nuremberg... Oh, okay, yeah, Nuremberg makes more sense. So fighters, fighter bombers, these groups are really, really small. Like, these F-16s are really great, do not get me wrong. They're really very fragile. This group is a hell of a lot better than the F-16s over here. These guys are great. Now, if you hear the car horn behind me, there's a good chance it means that some idiot's parked in the middle. I don't know what it is about this road. It's like, for some reason, people can't just pull to one side, so they usually have these, like, honk-offs. So hopefully that's not today. There's a good chance it could be. I'm not hearing honking yet, so there's a good chance it may not happen, but it happens. And I gotta hit over here. That's right. That one's getting very low. May start seeing elimination here shortly. Hamburg. Alright, yeah, you can see these guys. So this is obviously... I think this is just an... This may be just to the north? I don't know if this is the Vienna stack. I think the stack near Vienna... Oh, no, this might be the... I think that's the stack covered in the Czechs, I think. I could be, of course, wrong. There's a lot of hits over here. Wow, he really did a lot of damage over here. Yeah, he really brought a lot to play. Yeah, okay. That's not too surprising than F-16s, F-15s. Yeah, that's a pretty mean stack. So we did take quite a few hits. We did incur some hits on him, but yeah, that's pretty beefy. Again over here. This is why these aircraft come in so very, very, very handy. Because it means that we can take damage, but usually can survive it. I'm not seeing... Wow, it took a lot of damage here. So there's definitely some aircraft that are going to have to go to ground. Yeah, I can see F-16s. Those guys really hurt. That looks oh, we do actually have eliminations. Oh, we do see... Oh, this is ground, actually. That's not good. Alright, I wonder where this is. Siegen. I'm not familiar with the area, so... Fastberg rings a bell. Okay, yeah. So you hit the Maskarovka. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine by me. I mean, it's like the EBTs, I don't know, maybe the EBTs get taken out, but these Maskarovkas really, it's a decoy unit. It's yeah, okay. That's not too bad then, because that means that soaked up a lot of fighter bombers. I'm a-okay with that. In fact, that's pretty good. I'm alright with that. These guys, I forget where they are, but that's not too surprising. It could be, oh, I'm seeing Americans and Germans here. It could be near Fulda. I need to improve my German geography here. Alright, that's not too bad. These eliminations will be interesting. Oh, yeah. Let's see. He just threw supply in here then, so just used air power. Air power and... Segan, where the hell's Segan? He done that pistol. Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's why I like those Maskarovka units. They're really, really useful for that. Just because, like, Maskarovka is a legitimate thing, because it's hard to tell. I don't know how Segan is. I'm gonna have to figure out what Segan is. But let's see. Yeah. That's probably the stack that I talked about being doomed last time. But that's okay. I mean, it's not great, obviously, not that I like throwing away units, but that attracted a lot of enemy attack. There's a Panzer Division. So I guess this is what was in that stack there, then, which is actually very useful information there. Okay, I can work with that. So we know that we're dealing with quite a... These forces are actually not that strong. They have, like, density, but they're not that strong. The Panzer Division is the best unit there. A Parenton today. That's pretty cool. Nice. But yeah, I mean, the commitment of A10s. Wow, 7-8. God damn, they hurt. Yeah, so no wonder they died, but again, this drew... I mean, then again, he can easily use these guys without fear of being attacked by air power. But okay, that's interesting. Not unexpected, I did imagine that we'd have eliminations there. Eliminations 2. Czechs. We do route. Oh my god. Yeah. They didn't have that air cover, and that's a big problem. But this is kind of what I expected, not being able to cover everything. Losing the reconnaissance is not great. These guys can be recovered, but yeah, that's not great. It shows you how dangerous air power can be, and is. But eliminations are not too bad so far. Right, 4th Tank Division taking hits. They routed as well. Yeah, the Czech morale just does not last without leaders in there. But he's using a lot of air power there, so I respect that. And it's not... oh, I can click on it. Where did I click there? Oh, I clicked here, didn't I? Doi. Route, okay. I knew it'd be the Czechs that route. The Czechs just don't have the morale. The thing to remember here is that we're using... Like, this is 1985, but we're looking at, like... order of battles, or OOBs, or whatever you want to call it. Or TOEs that are basically 1989 modernizations, like, done now, or ahead of time. So these are some very deadly units. Alright, they retreat. Oh, he used 4 cards in here, wow. I don't know what... Oh, I can see what cards are used there. Okay, recovery vehicles. Tactical superiority, ranger school, and lack of shells. And he didn't eliminate a unit, okay. Is this a good stack? Oh, yes, this is probably the good... Yeah, that's the good stack we had there. But they did okay, actually. I mean, granted, there's about 12 hits in there. Guards Tank Division took some hits. Tank Division took hits. But they can be recovered. I don't know why they're separate. I don't know why it's displaying it separate. Maybe just support elements, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to assume that's support elements. I'd love... Yeah, maybe it's worth having them in there. Sometimes it's like... I don't know if it is worth it or not, but... Right, 1st Armored Division. So he used them. Okay, so he has it, and that's a lot of helicopters there. But that's interesting. That means I could probably try and trick those helicopters. Yeah, okay. That's a lot of German forces there. So we've got the 10th Panzer Division. We've got the 1st Armored Division for the US. 8-7. Those are really beefy numbers. I mean, there's artillery over here. And they're pretty beefy. They're pretty beefy. Yeah, okay. But considering he played 4 cards, that's not bad. Can I see what my morale was in the battle? I don't think so. But that's not too bad. Yeah, we retreat, but that's not too bad. I don't actually lose units in that, so I can live with that. Is that battle? Yeah, that's that battle. Okay, that's not too bad. Lose 29 victory points. He's up 26, interesting. So it's just recapture that terrain, which is not surprising. So these are the victories that we had then. So only 8. But we'll see. If we can get an elimination, that'd be nice. We suffered a couple of eliminations this turn ourselves, but not that many. Alright. These are the French, okay, Mirage. A lot of these guys are running close to the wire. We didn't really lose... I don't think we lost an air unit. We lost Maskarovka and a Czech reconnaissance unit, which wasn't bad. Like, I can live with that. That's a lot of fight bombs there. Yeah, these F4s, bloody hell, their stats are great. His air power is really, really dangerous. Okay. Oh, they retreat over there. That's good. This is what I mean, like, strong Soviet armies and just strong armies in general that have good support, they can pretty much see off some decent air power. It has to be really committed. There's a lot of hits here. Praha. Did he hit me on the airfield? Who else has solved those hits? Oh, wow, shitting me, that took a lot of hits. I'm guessing that well, in fairness, yeah, we didn't have air cover there. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, he did damage there. That's a lot of bombers there. Okay, that makes sense. So he did a lot of damage there. Yeah, tactical. I mean, to be fair, air power is a very interesting thing because usually it can feel almost like worthless at times. I mean, granted, in this game that we're playing, we do have the modernization, so the air power is more dangerous than it would be normally because they're more advanced aircraft than they normally would be, or more modern aircraft. But okay, this turn we'll find it easier to actually put assets up in the skies and protect our assets. Praha! As long as it doesn't die, that's okay. I do gain replacements from these, so I really do want to keep these guys alive. But I can manage things. We do have replacements, so that's not too bad. Yeah, okay. That's not all that bad. Yeah, okay. Apparently 7 eliminations. I don't know where they came from. Let's see details. Which ones were eliminated? Oh yeah, we had 2 ground units wiped out. Okay. I wish it just showed you which ones were eliminated and which ones, you know, that'd be nice. Consistent interdiction of the supply chain is one way I would win battles. Yeah, exactly. Hit. Alright. Or destroyed by overrun. Fritzlar. I don't know where that is. Probably south of Fulda. Or maybe north, but okay. I gathered that they probably would be taken out. I don't know if it was a good thing or a good or a bad move. I think at the end of the day, it did draw a lot of air power, and the fact that he used 4 cards, I guess he used those cards to try and get more cards. Yeah, I'd assume so. I'm surprised that he didn't actually score more success with them, but at the end of the day, he's done that likely to refresh his hand. But that's okay. No, not too bad. Yeah, that's true. Alright, power to the women, female students and factory workers, volunteer and master 7 small units, free men to fight. 9 replacements this turn. Wow, that's a really, really nice card. Alright. You can examine 1 enemy stack. I better use that one. Tactical superiority. Yep, okay. Military police there. +2 MP. Ranger school. Oh, okay. Alright. Massive artillery barrage. Operational maneuver group. An OMG! HQ counts the previously destroyed is built. Rebuilt, that's good. Operational maneuver group. I just like saying OMG. Supply depot. Yeah, I had that one last time. Okay. Negotiations. Oh, yeah, we had that beforehand. And I did wonder about it. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the situation then. Yeah, so this is not entirely unexpected. Oh, I guess he pulled back from Vidon. Alright. I wish you could look back at the results because I tend to forget where units are. Leave them back. I'd have to watch the video again. Or I could just load up the turn again separately and have a look at that. Alright, so we've seen Germans here. Okay. This force looks pretty good. Yeah, had air power overhead. I'm guessing that we had air units that forced back. Yeah, these guys are going to need to be reinforced. Alright. We did manage to reinforce a number of like air power. Were they destroyed out here? I've seen them. Where the hell are my fighters? There's some of them over here. Maybe they're just on the at the airfield at the moment. I tell you what, I did kind of expect him to... I need to get a new mouse because this mouse is annoying. I did kind of expect him to hit this stack, and I don't think he did. I don't think he did, which is interesting. I'd imagine he's probably rotated out Italian units. Sorry, he probably has more space now. Because I think we destroyed some Austrian units, so he can probably put some Italians in there. But these guys didn't get hit. That's actually not bad. Maybe we can get an opportunity to actually reinforce some cards, which would be nice. This is a pain in the ass. That keeps failing due to morale, so I do need to have a leader in that, but it's not the end of the world. It's not even that important. But, yeah, we'll deal with that. But that's not bad. We still have our toehold. This I kind of expected to fail. It was an opportunity. It did cost us a little bit. Well, it did cost us. It cost us quite a few hits. But those men can be recovered. They can be recovered. We just need to actually make good of it. But this is like where the main push was. So there's a German force over here, there's a German force over here, but they're not that terribly strong. So he pushed over here, okay. That makes sense. I wonder if this position is now open. I doubt it, because he did have the 2 stacks over here that we did try to slow down. But it'd be interesting. It looks like he's reinforced this position. Or maybe he's moved the British Army to the right over here. So yeah, he recognises that this is the this is where I want to go. Okay. But the interesting thing is with that, it's like I could potentially... Because I've got like a full army, an actual army here. Give or take an actual army. That's a real army. But there is strength in this area that does have access to roads. I could try to engage and try and defeat his forces in the field, which is an interesting thing to consider there. These haven't been reinforced, so I should be able to make progress here. We're on the 3rd turn. Soon enough, he'll be running out of that extra defensive CF. Granted, I'm burning turns, but I don't want to engage where I'm going to take a greater pounding. Oh, interesting. He still has units over here. Yeah, the Maskarovka. I tell you what, every time I say the Maskarovka, it really makes me want to say, like, the Masquerade. You know, like, oh, what do they call it? The vampire one. Vampire the Masquerade. That's kind of what I feel like here. So, yeah, we've got vampires in these tanks. But the Masquerade, the Maskarovka, did succeed. So it's got the Dutch, I'm going to say Dutch forces over here. It's got a lot of German forces over here. Yeah, Maskarovka. I know, but it's just, I want to say Masquerade, because it just feels like saying that. And they're very similar, because obviously the Masquerade is where they try to, like, keep up the pretenses. So, you know what I mean. How you doing that, by the way, Mike? Hamburg's going to be a pain in the ass, but I don't expect anything else. There's obviously the forces over here, but I'm not seeing really much else. Now, Alex did tell me that apparently his naval forces had been destroyed when they retreated. So I think that is like a bug. Because we managed to win a tactical victory here, then I assumed he'd pulled back over here. But apparently that didn't happen, so this game really is... It's not going to be a perfect game. There's going to be things, such as like the breakthrough mechanic right now is... I don't think breakthrough is actually activated right now, so this game is very much a work in progress. But then that was accepted. It's like, we both knew that when we started. I definitely knew that when I started. But it's also good because it does help us to actually figure out where the game can be improved. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I was English, but at the end of the day, you have to play these games. You have to look and figure out what works and what doesn't work, and then help the developers. I think I had a number of these assets actually not up from the airfield, so which is probably why they didn't intercept everywhere, but okay, that's fair enough. These ones probably did. I'm surprised they're alive. Okay, but yeah, generally looking okay. The Czechs really took a pound in here, but that's not too bad. Like, we did see that the Czechs are not that hard to replace. And the Czechs are not bad troops at all. They're reluctant troops, if anything. Not bad troops, just, yeah, okay. The Czechs are just not the main push. But we've gained space over here. If he truly has abandoned this position over here, Weiden, then that's interesting. It gives me a little bit more room to play with. It does mean, because right now, an issue that I had is I had to cover these provinces, but I didn't really have the proper amounts in there, and I had to spread air power out. At least this one here, like this one more or less covers like 2 provinces worth, so I don't have to put forces in these 2. Yeah. How you doing there, SCV? Good to have you, my man. Now the question is, can I balance this checkbook, you know? I'd love to check what my check balance is. It doesn't work as great on that one. Check and check works really well. It didn't work for cash balance, so I'll admit that failure on that one, but it does work for checkbook, so we're giving them a blank check. I don't know, if you can think of some jokes, let me know. Otherwise I'll keep going. But just be sure to check in with me when you figure out a new one. Alright, I'll start with that now. You know, it's all about checks and balances. Alright, let me shut up and just play some cards. Alright, negotiations can go back. Ground attack, okay. I can never see a position in which I'd want to use this. I just, the air superiority is just so good. Like, don't get me wrong, like, hitting hard and ground would be amazing. Yeah, plus 1 CF air-to-air. -1 ground attack, I cancelled. Yeah, so essentially it's like, it cancels out the air superiority, but I just really like that air superiority. The +1 for the air combat factor, it just makes a big difference. Like, I can already do a lot of damage on ground. I've got a hell of a lot of helicopters. He's got a lot of helicopters, I've got more helicopters, so, you know. An OMG HQ counter is rebuilt. I don't know if we had one destroyed, in fairness. I'm not going to use those cards. How's he looking replacements-wise? He's on 2 replacements? He's going to get more replacements, but if he's not... I mean, he went for total mobilization. He must have spent a lot of replacements there. Which means he's going to be even deadlier this turn. But we still have 153. Like, we had 100 and something when we finished off last phase. I'd have to look and figure out how many replacements we get a turn. But we've got a decent amount there. I've got 8 cards. How many cards does he have? 12. Okay. I could do with spending some cards, but I'm going to have to get rid of some cards. I'd get rid of these guys pretty easily. This one's so interesting, though. Many units on both sides, -1 MP. -5 tension index this turn. Then -1 for random turns after. Is it in my favour to do that? I don't know. In some ways, it kind of is, because it's like I'm not moving that fast. Oh, so him position himself there is interesting. I'm gonna gather that there's like a defensive line here. He's got forces over here. I didn't previously notice them, but they're over there. He's got a good strong air stack over them and a good strong air stack over here. But I don't know. Well, this is it. I don't know anything about these guys. But like right now in this area, we have pretty much like victory. There's not much over here. Obviously, we'll send Polish forces to deal with that. If I even do that at all, I could have the Polish take the cities and then move north. Pushing north into Denmark is not the biggest deal for me. Oh, anyway, we'll take a look at these events first and foremost. So, we have the invasion of Yugoslavia, which is not great. So, Warsaw Pact forces into Yugoslavia to facilitate the invasion of Austria and then Italy. The attack on the Italian peninsula has been in Pact's plans for decades. It is considered that Rome will not resist for long. Which would give the Pact a strategically very interesting position for its aviation. Right, more marginally an offensive against Greece is considered, so is it just -10? Okay. Heavy fight in Turkey. Notwithstanding the start of an offensive in which the Turkish forces on the border were pushed around, the progress of the Soviet Bulgarian forces was slowed by the resistance of the Turks, which was hardened everywhere. Although the weapons of the Turkish army are for the most part not very modern, the materials of the Warsaw Pact assigned to this theatre of operations are not either. In addition, the quality of troops is very mediocre. On the Marmara front, the Bulgarian offensive is halted in the face of mounting logistical problems, while their troops display a lack of motivation due to their not being sufficiently trained. In eastern Anatolia, the Category 3 divisions, mostly Georgians, Chechens, or Russians from South Russia, do not show any enthusiasm to fight the near Moscow. So, -5 VP. Wow, that's really painful. So, the offensive in Turkey is stallen. And it looks like it's stolen here in Iran as well. Oosh. And past Iran and the Basij fight fanatically regardless of their losses suffered. Yet summon up Iranian tactics through its use of suicide charges and human wave assaults alone would be a mistake. Years of war with the Iraqis have forced some units into tactical, even operational proficiency, and even the National Guard units are generally considered experienced. The Iranians have saved their best units from combat so far, waited to commit them to battle only once they are assured success. The combat power of the Soviets have come as a shock to the Iranians, and some units will inevitably be lost. Efforts which often are not crowned with success. In any case, thanks to the Soviets, the Iranians demonstrated a tenfold combativeness compared to that demonstrated against the Iraqis. After all, the USSR, the little Satan. Ooh. And it was a little bit boring me reading it, but I'm just reading it for you guys. And the place of the big Satan being reserved for the United States. Between fanatical actions and some relatively successful operational maneuvers against the Soviets who sometimes showed lack of initiative, Tehran manages to slow the Soviet offensive and resist a major Iraqi offensive. Interesting. And then we do have a US Marine Corps here. So before the Warsaw Pact began its attack, American intelligence knew when and where the blows would fall. Reinforced elements of the 3rd Fleet with the 4th Marine Amphibious Brigade embarked, sailed from Norfolk towards Denmark before the outbreak of the conflict. They initially support the Norwegian forces with constant airstrikes, while the Marines land and take up blocking positions at choke points in the mountain passes. Okay. This makes the possibility of a decisive Soviet victory in this theatre unlikely. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. But he had to commit those guys, otherwise he would lose the North. I mean, granted, we had to commit an army to it, but at the end of the day, well, we have a lot of armies. It just means I'm facing less forces in this theatre. Right, okay. I need cards. Oh, we go. Alright, some of these are looking pretty interesting. That's looking baller. Let's take a look then. Rain. Heavy rain slows down units and impairs visibility. All air, land, and naval units on both sides suffer a -1 combat factor and 2 MP this turn. Wow, that's interesting. But that's not too bad. Generally, our units are actually pretty good. Are actually okay. Generally pretty good. But it does mean that, like, for such units, like, earlier on when we saw that the airborne troops were wiped out, the German territorial units like had something like a 2-4, which means they'll have like a 1-3 now, give or take. Like, mobility is going to suffer, but it's okay. I'm generally where I need to be anyway, and there's a few roads I can start to use now, so that's not too bad. It's going to weaken us, but it's going to importantly weaken him too, so that may make it actually a little bit easier for us to manage. Alright, so that's everybody slowed down there. The rain's that bad. Right, let's see, to Poland. Only playable on turn 3. The 5th Guards tank army is sent to Poland to maintain order. The army will not arrive as reinforcements, but Pact gains +10 VPs and no political collapse in Poland occurs. Due to the intense response. Okay. Right. As much as I would love to have a Guards army in this fight, I really categorically can't afford the collapse of Pact, of the Warsaw Pact. German trucks. In West Germany only. West German civilian trucks and captured Pact territory requisition to facilitate resupply. Alright, cool. Take that. What got here? Terra free. Oh. Wow. 50% chance to cancel Nato. Interested, permanently remove that. So it's a satellite killer. Ah, +10 VPs. I've got lots of VPs to play with. -15 income and 2 tension index. Okay. Well, we're going to pay for it here. So, to Poland, I must prevent the collapse of the Warsaw Pact. Yeah, we'll go over that. Okay. Hopefully shoot down a satellite, that'd be great. I wish I had bought some cards, but it's okay. The replacements have been worthwhile, I must say. Right. Air base return. Reinforcements. Love to use those, but I can't. Alright, supply depot. Forward supply depots are set up by Army Command. You can place one depot on the map. I need to get a new mouse. I'm gonna get a new mouse. I'll try and just like kick the crap out of this one so it works. Yeah, you can see there the well, that's yeah. Everybody's worse this turn. But I mean, units like this are still really good. And what's going to matter here is having mass, so we'll make it work. Morale can... morale's not affected by the rain. Right, okay. Oh, cool, get some reinforcements here. Yeah, but these are basically units that have been destroyed. Oh, I don't think we've had a Soviet unit destroyed. I don't think we have. But I guess it's coming from, like, units that have been destroyed in battle. Right. But these are not bad units, so where would I want them? I could even have them here, which is interesting. Can't have them in the south, but where do I want them? Now the problem is I do not want to engage in the city. I really would rather not do that, but I'd have to try and win a morale battle. Where do I want them? I obviously don't want them out here. I don't want them up over here either. Having them around here does mean that I have to draw on less Polish. I can just draw on what I have here. What's the stacking value? 3, 3. Okay, that's a +6, which is not insignificant at all. 32, 32. Yeah, I could have it to flesh out this army here. It wouldn't make any sense to have them deployed here. I can have them move via road. I couldn't get 20 in here, so I'm gonna have to get HQs in here. But yeah, we got some room. If these guys are empty, I could even like take these guys out, which is quite nice. He hasn't left me a open door here, which is an important thing. So he's obviously aware of the fact that if he leaves gaps, I will get in there and I will conquer provinces. Obviously, be able to retake them, but in that time, I'm there. All right. Is there an argument that can be made down here? Where do I expect attrition to be higher? Where can I commit more troops? To be fair, I can commit more troops over here, so is it worth having more troops over here? I have a lot of troops over here, so I think I probably want to have these troops elsewhere, really. Like, I've got the Polish, like, there's more Polish forces moving up over here. They're not the best. But Denmark's not all that important. I mean, we're going to win the fight in Denmark, more or less. We've already broken through this area, so I could reinforce success, which is an interesting thing. It's like, do you want to reinforce success, or is it going to make a difference at that point? And like, I'd argue, goddamn this mouse, I'd argue probably is worthwhile having more troops there so you can keep up the operational momentum. That is a pretty valid thing, because at the end of the day, I've got to grind through these cities here. But once we're past the cities, we do enter into this like favourable terrain. And I don't really have much behind this. It wouldn't hurt to have additional forces here to play with. I've got a lot of forces over here that have actually not really been deployed. The East Germans are coming into play as well. And we are making gains over here. Yeah. Where do I want them? I have to cross the river to get over here, and even then it's small cities and villages. This -3 is going to really suck. -3 and he gains morale. It's really rough. What does he have over here? -2 still. But only a -1. Okay. I need to get through here. So I think I do have a real legitimate need to get through here. Right, see, I have a number of German forces over here. I'm going to have them relieved, actually. I'm going to place the reinforcements here. Because that means I can have the Germans push this way then. Which, I don't know, is it worth doing? But then again, these units are really weak on the front line. So he's obviously giving up the front line, so it doesn't actually hurt me to gain that now. It does gain me VP, importantly. It also gains me space. It means I'll have opportunities to then break through in different areas, so you can't cover everything. But yeah, there's an important assault that's going to take place over here, so yeah, I'll go with that then. Granted, it would be great to have them here, but I think I have enough forces to make this happen. Though that said... Oops. -2. Defender has a combat bonus of 1. So I can bring 28 units to bear here, give or take. Obviously I can get more in there if I want to. And 28 here, 20 here, 22 here, 28 here. Now this is the cover force, basically. I'm going to place them here. The argument behind that is, like, I've got strong forces over here. I've got forces I can draw here. These Soviets are going to be moving down here. The Polish are going to be moving up. The Polish are going to take up the sieges of Hamburg and Eisendorf. And then we'll see what we can do. Maybe I leave Soviet forces continue fight over here. It depends. It wouldn't be a bad idea to leave an army behind to do that. But I'm not going to win the war by taking Denmark. I'm going to win by really grinding NATO back. Once I get into this area here, it's going to become harder for him because this is where I can start to use more units. Like right now, you can see where things are starting to open up. He's having to deploy more units. Before, when the border was tighter, like for example over here, like he didn't have to use as many units to hold us in check. There you go, in check, yeah. Going back to the earlier. But I need to cover myself to the south. And that's where the East Germans are going to come in handy. I don't have that many East Germans to play with over here. Granted, I have them here, so ignore that. But I want to make sure that the Soviets can keep moving and the East Germans can keep moving. So I'm going to place them here. Because in this area, there's not much strength. There's nothing behind this. And that's something I complained about, like, last stream, is that I don't have anything behind this. So we're going to have a little bit more strength behind it now. Oh, there we go. Get more East Germans too. That's very handy. Alright. I need to get a new mouse. Concentrated East Germans will do a lot of good work. Really, I'd want to have those stacks switched over and have these guys take these guys and these guys take these guys, but it's okay. I can get a lot of men in here, however.